the 10s and a K after the 5s. That was 32.45.
You've never done a marathon before?
No, not properly. I'm going to be, 35k deep, and I want a little rhubarb and crumble.
I think once Guinness comes out of the gel, then I'll be set for the marathon.
15:10, 15:47.
Are we walking in?
Yeah, we're walking in. Let's do this. Howdy.
How are we?
Going?
Yeah, not bad.
We are here today to discuss your training. Okay, I'm going to be really shit at this. Let me just get into the swing of things here. I can talk a lot of shit, but not in front of a camera, clearly. We want to discuss your marathon. So you've never done a marathon before?
No, not properly.
And is the main reason because your colleagues say, oh, you're a runner, so what is your marathon time?
To be honest, yeah, I'm fed up of getting, asked and not having a good time to stand behind and be like, yeah, you know what, I'm happy with that.
Hey, what's up? How's it going? Good to see you. Sorry.
So I started my block with 16 weeks till D-Day, and we're about 12 weeks in now. And that block started just basically at the very end of track season summer. So I finished track season having ran 14-13 at Wimbledon, and then I took a couple of days easy, probably could have done with taking a bit longer, decided against it, and got into training for Valencia. And I've raced once in the block. I raced Great Scottish Run half marathon. That was a few weeks ago now, maybe 8 weeks into the block. Time-wise, yeah, it was okay. I finished 4th, which I was kind of it would have been nice to be top 3.
Yeah.
But those guys were just so far clear that the week before had been heavy enough that was like a good kind of effort on the day.
Yeah. So what time did you run then?
47, something like that. And considering the training week I'd had, that was probably a decent enough performance.
Did you taper for that race?
Absolutely not.
Maybe that had something to do with the time.
Potentially. I think I ran like 70-80 miles the week of the race.
Yeah.
And I think the week before I was maybe high 80s.
Okay, when you say you didn't taper for that race, do you want to maybe talk me through the last session you did prior to this race?
Some of the kind of longer runs have been steady, longer efforts. The Saturday before, I ran a marathon distance, 2:27, kind of flat, round Battersea. I think I was on the quicker end of what was prescribed.
I mean, that's not surprising given you. But and so maybe talk me through even how you went about fueling for a session like that.
A lot of gels. So part of the thinking is to replicate what I'll have in Valencia. I've not got the elite entry that you get bottles with. So I'm on sub-elite entry, which means I get free entry, but not I don't think there's anything else really. I think I'll just have the drinks that are on the course. So from the kind of get-go of this block, part of the big target has been to try and replicate fueling and kind of practice that. So I think that morning I had 6 or 7 gels, and I mixed between Morton and High Five. So effectively just train the gut, get as much carbs in as I can, and see how I handle it. And so far, touch wood, it's been okay. Most of the block has been around 50 grams an hour of carbs, but building with the idea of building up as I go through.
Right.
So because it's my first block and the first time really fueling while running, with a real target,
So smooth.
it's meant I mean, to jump, when you see numbers of what people can achieve, it's up at 90, 120 or getting thrown around. One of the guys doing the Ironman World Series is trying to do 180 on the bike. It's a lot of food to take in while kind of running hard. So at the beginning of the block it was 50. my most recent longer run, I got in 70 or 80. So kind of, I think over the average of the 2.5 hours, it was like towards 75.
Yeah.
With the plan being that it'll be somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
And obviously all gels, plus whatever water I can pick up on the course.
Yeah, so you used to carry all those gels on the course, would you? Right?
Yeah.
Just sellotaped left, right and centre.
Well, I was thinking like one behind the ear,
2 gels down. Oh.
Probably shouldn't say this in Canada, they're disgusting. None of them are enjoyable to eat.
So that brings us to today's sponsor.
I don't want to preempt anything here, but they're brutal.
Have you ever had Torque?
No.
They taste class, in my opinion. It was literally, I think the best one's like rhubarb and custard. Unbelievable.
So do you think I'm going to be, 35k deep, and I want a little rhubarb and crumble?
I was thinking though, if they do savoury ones as well, like I might just give up eating in general and just stick to my gels, because
Yeah, full liquid diet.
unbelievable. I
Season
think
4.
once Guinness comes out with a gel, I think then I'll be set for the marathon.
I chase it then with a pint, and that's even more beautiful still.
Do you want to chat about your approach to training in general outside of the actual running?
I think some of the things I like to do is in the gym a couple of times a week, pushing iron.
Yeah,
I
noticed it.
Well, yeah. So couple gym sessions. I've been trying to hit the sauna quite a lot.
Yeah.
Not really so much because Valencia is going to be hot, but more just kind of general health benefits and like the idea that it's going to be a heavy training block. If I get ill or things like that, you're really going to punish your build up. So anything to avoid getting ill.
Yeah.
In that sense. The food side of things has been fairly straightforward.
I don't think you and food is ever straightforward, but
You make quite a good point. I'm
incredibly allergic to many things.
Yep, I think that's an understatement. But yeah, chicken and rice, sorted,
Chicken
easy.
and rice.
I'll have fish and a rice cake.
Chicken and rice and beans,
Chicken rice, sometimes rice and chicken.
Yeah, I think that, like previously I've got a bit too bogged down in nutrition and things. Obviously marathon you can be really specific with fueling and things around the actual event itself, but it almost becomes like its own. You obviously have to eat more because you train a lot. So that's just been eating when you're hungry rather than kind of working out calorie deficit from events and things. So yeah, I've not worried about that sort of thing too much. I've been pretty conscious on sleep. That's obviously one of the big things. So try and be at least 8 hours, if not a bit more.
You're 25, living in London, and from my experience, being that age and living in London generally means you're out late drinking most weekends. Do you want to maybe touch on your relationship with socializing with alcohol, and if you feel like you've sacrificed some of that, or you feel like maybe that's just who you are always?
Yeah, so at least for the past couple of months I've not drank whatsoever. It's not something that's been like a massively conscious choice purely for the marathon or purely for training in general, but in London it's obviously quite a big part of social life, and not London but everywhere, particularly kind of when you move into a new city or if you're trying to meet people, do different events, whatever, it becomes like a fairly large part. We're kind of fortunate there's not a massive scene for it at work, the famous Threshold Thursdays rather than the old Thirsty Thursdays. But yeah, we've effectively not drank for a few months now, which I feel pretty good. I've got the benefit of sleeping great all the time. And it's something that I'd say I was fairly used to kind of in stints with running in the past, where if you've got a big race coming up, it's easy enough to go without. And yeah, I think the bottom line is I don't think I'm missing anything. So it's something that in the past I've enjoyed, and the sort of things that I would go and drink at, I've not had so much of an interest in for the past little while. So. But I might have a pint after the race, not ruling it out.
Is that right? Go. Hello, I'm Mark Lloyd. I run the Cottage group in Battersea Park. We have a gathering today to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the group. Session is 2 times 5k of 5 minutes, which will run as a handicap, and hopefully everybody should finish more or less at the same time. Good boys.
Why do you think your future is in the marathon?
I was always better as it got longer and slow over shorter. So at some point it checks out that you can just go to the longest event possible, and currently that's a marathon.
Have you ever heard of an ultra marathon?
Maybe one day. We'll graduate from marathon first.
Max, well done. Keep it going.
Overall, things are kind of trending in the right direction.